Hello, welcome to Engineer's Box. Now today we'll be working through the Extractor. Working through the Extractor and showing off basically all of the recipes, how it works, things like that. Now something to note about all of these creations is that it seems to be following a pattern at the moment where every time I'm doing one of these, it seems to get a little bit better. So today, actually, one of the major differences between the last two and this one is that you can actually just place this like a normal block on the ground, whereas the last two are dropped items. So that's pretty cool. Nice little difference. So let's open the chest here, grab ourselves some extractors, a couple of RE batteries, and let's grab ourselves some resin and some water cells. Why not? So all of the recipes with the extractor are for biocells compressing biocells, hydrated coal cells, water cells, and resin. So, the extractor, I'll place this down, open up the interface, and we can see that we've got the full GUI. I haven't added the function for any of the upgrades yet. None of the machines at the moment have that, purely for the fact that I just want to get the fundamentals of all of these done, and then I can add the rest of the stuff later. So, let's add an RE battery. We can see now it's charged. And let's add some resin in here. So as we see, it starts the animation off, and it's moving through, and that's actually done by these command blocks up here. Now that's only one downside about these creations is the actual animation of the GUI it's quite lengthy. Maybe I can simplify it in the future. So as you can see, as this forms, boom, we've got ourselves some rubber. Now with the original IC2 IC2 mod, we've got 3 rubber from 1 resin. Now in this case, the same thing happens. So let's have a look at a water cell now. We'll stick this in, wait for it, go through the whole motion. I'll show the entire animation this time so you get a glimpse of the fact that it actually does the whole thing and doesn't skimp out on anything. You kind of hope not, if we're doing this sort of recreation to this extent. There we go, as we can see, almost done. And there we go, hydration cell. Alrighty, and the braking works too, so if we get rid of the rest of these just for now, and we break this, there we go, gives the item back. Perfect. So, those are all the items and results from them, and now we can move on to how this actually works. So what we've got here is actually first off I want to go over the Macerator. It uses the same method as the custom blocks that I did recently. So I can actually do even custom models for these, so I can make them even more advanced, but we'll go into that a little later. What we've got is a spawn egg, in this case for a rabbit, and basically we're just summoning a rabbit with the name of Extractor, and then as you can see, actually we're testing for the name Extractor on a spawn egg in the inventory, and then from there we're looking for a bunny named Extractor, basically, and then we're just setting a block down, which happens to be a trap chest, a retextured trap chest, so the top of it isn't there anymore, and then just adding in the GUI into there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then in the second command here, we're executing out here at that bunny again, and then we're summoning a leash knot just one block above. And then from there, we're summoning in. Now, this is the interesting part. This is the part where we summon in the armor stand. In this case, we call the armor stand cell check 3. That's what I'm calling all of these, cell check. It just makes them easier to understand what they actually do, considering they're actually checking the cells of this machine. And then it's just invisible. It's got the armor item of a golden shovel, retextured golden shovel. And it's just got a different orientation. So each of these are actually different orientations of north, south, east, and west. And they're actually pretty small, pretty simple. They're only 6 commands long, which is pretty nice. And then from there, we're just killing off the leash knot, and we're just TPing the rabbit down to -500, which kills it straight away. So that's pretty cool. So now let's go over the machine destroy. So basically, we're just testing for the fact that underneath the block, the air there appears. So when you break the block, there is air. Just testing for that. When that happens, we basically go from there and we just give the player an item. In this case, the spawn egg. We give them back a spawn egg. Then you kill off that armor stand. Just remove the objective charge 3, which is actually for giving power to it. So when it has power, then you can use it. So this just removes that objective. And then we just get rid of the time 3, which is actually using the animation over here. and then we just remove the animation objective. Pretty simple, not hard to understand at all. Now for the detecting the battery, all we've got is just executing at that armor stand and testing for the fact that the entity itself within the radius of 1, and there's a count of 1. This basically just negates. There's a strange problem which occurs with armor stands at this point in time where it's very rare, but it can happen. I don't know if it's actually a bug, hence the reason I haven't posted a bug report, but you'll get sometimes with the row of commands like these ones especially that I've got here, the executing at that armor stand, it won't do it unless you actually test for the fact that the armor stand is there. It's a little bit odd, I'm not sure why, but it's incredibly rare, and I don't know if it's a bug or whether it's due to something happening, but I'll let you know when I figure that sort of stuff out. Anyway, second command block is basically just testing for the fact that there is that, as you can see, there is that RE battery in there, and then from there, we're just adding the objective charge through. Remember, that's the actual power of the machine, and then removing 10 from there, which means it has 10 uses, and then replacing the RE battery with an empty one, and then just replacing the, changing the GUI so it looks like a powered one. And then this one here is just removing the objective, so just testing for a player with the score of 0 minimum for charge 3, and then from here we're just removing that and setting it back to the non-charged GUI. Then from here, this one is actually just removing the items on the ground, so we're just removing those. Excuse me. Sorry, let's go on to the recipes now. So let's have a look at the biocell here, which actually takes a biocell, compresses it, and then makes it into a biofuel cell. So we're testing for the objective charge 3, which is the power, which basically has a score between negative a hell of a lot of 9s and negative 1, which means it actually has the power to do this. If I was testing for that between 0, then I would technically be testing if it had 0 charge as well, which doesn't work, hence the reason negative 1. And then from there, we go and we test for the item biocell. So that's that item there, that's inside the extractor. So we're testing for it just here, and then basically just setting the animation objective to 1, and then adding to the time objective 1, constantly looping, and then testing for the value of 400, which basically means that it's got the exact amount of time that it uses to do the full inventory animation. So if we go back to the animation here, when we've added that objective, it runs through all of these. Each of them are 20 ticks, so go 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, blah, 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 all the way up to 400. These are just changing the GUI appearance so that it gives you the look of the GUI. The animation, and that's exactly 400 ticks. So now at the same time of using the setting animation to 1, we add ticks every second. We add 1 tick to the objective time 3, and then every tick we add 1 tick to the objective time 3 until 400, and then from there basically we replace the item where it was before in the extractor up the top here. We replace it with nothing, so it gets rid of it. Now this is the important thing, we do that before putting the new item in the output slot, because if we did that first, then there is a small chance that you could actually grab it before it disappeared and you could do a duplication thing, so that just takes out that problem. And then we just add in the biofuel cell in the output slot, which is just over here, there. And from there, basically just setting the time objective to 0, and adding 1 to the charge 3, so it brings it from negative 10 to negative 9 if it had 10 uses, or negative 5 to negative 4 if it had 5 uses, so on and so forth. And then setting the animation objective to 0, and then replacing the inside of this with just the charged look of the GUI. So pretty simple, not very complex at all, just quite a lot of repetition. That's the major thing in here. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. So as I'm going along, each of these are getting better and better and better, and I imagine the next machine is probably going to be a hell of a lot better. So I'll leave a poll on Twitter pretty soon asking what machine you guys want to see next, so definitely go check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description. And another thing I wanted to do just before we leave is ask what shaders you like better. So currently I am using the CUDA shaders, a modified version of the 2526 ones, which are really nice. I really like these. Or there's this one which I use as well, which is really nice. The BSL. It's got this really nice lens flare and stuff, but it's an overall more Seussy sort of look, if you like it. So Seuss's Unbelievable Shaders. It looks a bit more like that, bit more realistic, I guess you could say. Which is really nice too. I really like this one as well. Or there is using, but the interesting thing about this one is it doesn't do this custom grass on here. But it does do like normal grass and things like that. But it's a bit bugged in this world. I don't know why it doesn't work in this world. It's a bit odd. None of the shaders except for the one I normally use do that. Anyway, and yeah, so I wanted to see what you guys thought about that. So I'll actually leave a poll on this video for you guys to answer. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the nearest of futures.